Research in personality psychology shows that introverted, intuitive individuals, traits often found in Sigma personalities, derive satisfaction from introspective and unconventional experiences. These behaviors may appear odd to the average person, but for Sigmas, they're energizing and deeply fulfilling. So if you've ever been told your habits are weird, don't worry. You might just be a Sigma. Let's dive into 11 peculiar activities that only these mysterious men genuinely find enjoyable. Point 1. Silent mornings over loud alarms. Sigmas don't wake up to chaos. They craft their mornings with the same precision they bring to their lives, silent, focused, and intentional. While most people are hitting the snooze button for the 5th time and scrambling to beat the clock, a Sigma male is already up, centered, and in control. Science backs this up. Studies show that early risers tend to be more proactive and have better mental health. But for a Sigma, it's more than productivity. It's about peace. A Sigma starts his day with rituals that ground him, perhaps a quiet stretch, a strong cup of black coffee, or a few moments of deep reflection. That silence isn't just quiet time, it's a launch pad for clarity and purpose. Mornings set the tone, and for Sigmas, that tone is calm confidence. It's not about avoiding the world, it's about mastering it, one deliberate breath at a time. Point 2. Long solo walks with no destination. Most people hate walking without a destination. They need a reason, a goal, a finish line, but not the Sigma male. To him, wandering isn't a waste of time, it's a silent strategy. When he walks aimlessly, his mind becomes a canvas where ideas paint themselves freely. Neuroscience backs this up. Walking, especially in nature, activates the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for creative problem-solving and introspection. While society glorifies constant motion and measurable results, the Sigma embraces the opposite. He understands that peace without purpose is not laziness, it's clarity. Great thinkers like Steve Jobs and Nietzsche were known for their long walks, using them as mental reset buttons. For the Sigma, these quiet strolls aren't about getting somewhere. They're about becoming someone. So while the world rushes to do more, he strolls to think deeper, recharge fully, and return stronger. Wandering is his quiet rebellion, and his secret weapon. Point 3. Deep conversations over small talk. So how's the weather? That's the moment a Sigma male mentally checks out. It's not arrogance, it's wiring. The Sigma mind isn't built for surface-level chatter. It's designed for depth, for intensity. Studies in psychology suggest that introverted, intuitive types like Sigma males crave meaningful conversation because it stimulates their introspective and analytical nature. While others may thrive on casual dialogue, the Sigma male seeks the behind everything. Ask him about mortality, the cosmos, or the psychology of human behavior, and watch his eyes light up. At 3 a.m., while the world sleeps, he's awake contemplating life's biggest questions. Small talk feels like eating dry toast when he knows there's a full-course philosophical meal waiting to be served. Shallow waters offer no challenge, and a Sigma? He's not afraid to dive into the unknown, where ideas roam freely and conversations actually matter. Point 4. Creating over competing. Sigma males aren't in competition with others. They're in creation mode. While alpha males often strive for dominance, chasing recognition and battling for the spotlight, Sigma males quietly step away from the noise. They're not trying to win a race someone else designed. Instead, they focus on building something meaningful on their own terms. It's not about proving superiority, it's about crafting value. Psychologically, this aligns with high levels of and traits often associated with Sigma personalities. These men may vanish for months, but during that time they're not idle. They're learning new skills, writing books, launching businesses, or creating solutions that shake up the status quo. When they return, they don't talk about what they've been doing. They show you. That's their real power. The Sigma male's path isn't about applause, it's about impact. While others compete, he creates. And that's what makes him unforgettable. Point 5. Old books with yellow pages. While the world scrolls TikTok, the Sigma scrolls the worn-out pages of a 1972 philosophy book. Why? Because wisdom isn't found in 10-second dopamine hits. It's found in ideas that have endured centuries. Think Marcus Aurelius, Nietzsche, or Alan Watts, minds that still challenge us today. To the Sigma, this isn't about nostalgia. It's mental fuel. He doesn't chase trends, he chases timeless truths. Unlike fast-consumed content, classic philosophy trains the mind to think deeply, question boldly, and live intentionally. For him, knowledge isn't fast food, it's a slow-cooked feast for the soul, and he savors every bite, even if the world doesn't. Point 6. Mystery over fame. Fame? Nah. Validation? Nope. Sigma males thrive in the shadows, not the spotlight. Their allure lies in mystery, the power of being unreadable. This ambiguity sparks curiosity in others, drawing attention without trying. Psychologists call this the pratfall effect, where imperfection or unpredictability boosts intrigue. Unlike alpha males who crave recognition, Sigmas find power in autonomy. They're not antisocial, they're selectively social, no labels, no need for applause. By avoiding the noise of validation, they gain clarity, freedom, and authenticity. It's not about being known, it's about being real, living on their terms, and letting the world wonder what's behind the curtain. Point 7. Observing instead of participating. At parties, the Sigma male isn't the loudest in the room, he's the most observant. While others dance or dominate conversations, he stays on the sidelines, quietly analyzing the scene. He's not antisocial, he's a strategist. Studies in social psychology show that highly observant individuals often pick up on subtle cues, body language, tone shifts, micro-expressions that others overlook. The Sigma uses this awareness to understand group dynamics and human behavior deeply. He notices who's authentic, who's pretending, and who's watching whom. While others perform, he gathers insight. He's not there to impress, he's there to understand, calculate, and sometimes outmaneuver. Point 8. Building mental fortresses. A Sigma doesn't just want peace, it. His mind is his fortress, not easily shaken by chaos or noise. Through practices like meditation, which studies show can lower stress and enhance focus, he sharpens his inner clarity. Self-discipline becomes his daily armor, shaping habits that serve, not sabotage. Reflection isn't a pastime, it's a ritual for growth. While the world seeks escape, the Sigma male dives inward, turning solitude into a sanctuary. Mental resilience is his spa day, a place where discomfort is embraced and mastery is forged. For him, true power begins where external distractions end and inner order begins. Point 9. The challenge of being misunderstood. Most people fear being misunderstood because it threatens their sense of belonging, but the Sigma male thrives on it. He doesn't crave validation, he craves authenticity. When others don't get him, it doesn't shake his confidence, it strengthens it. That misunderstanding becomes proof he's thinking independently, not following the herd. Psychologists call this positive deviance, acting differently in a way that leads to better outcomes. While others conform, the Sigma refines his unique vision. He lives on a higher frequency, tuned to purpose and not popularity. So if he's misunderstood, good. It means he's not average, and never will be. Point 10. Mastery of one, not jack of all. In a world that praises juggling 5 tasks at once, Sigma males stand out by doing the exact opposite. They master one. Neuroscience backs them up. Studies show that deep focus boosts productivity, memory, and skill retention far more than multitasking ever could. Whether it's mastering Brazilian jiu-jitsu, composing music, or perfecting code, the Sigma male isn't scattered, he's surgical. This laser-sharp focus leads to real expertise, not just surface-level knowledge. While the world flips between trends, he commits. He's not interested in being average at many things. He's determined to be exceptional at one. That's not just different, it's powerful. Point 11. Being alone without feeling lonely. This is the ultimate Sigma signature. Solitude doesn't scare him, it fuels him. It's where he plans, heals, learns, and levels up. Being alone isn't his weakness, it's his superpower. Studies in psychology show that intentional solitude boosts creativity, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. While many seek validation in crowds, the Sigma male thrives in his own company. He uses quiet moments to sharpen his mind, reflect on his goals, and master his emotions. Solitude becomes his strategic weapon. Where others feel lost without social interaction, the Sigma finds clarity. This isn't isolation, it's evolution. Alone, he doesn't fade. He rises stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable. Sigmas, in a world that pressures you to conform, these uncommon preferences aren't flaws, they're signs of your rare wiring. You don't need to explain why you like what you like. Your silence is louder than noise. Your solitude is more crowded than some parties. And your vision? It's rooted, not reactive. These 11 uncommon likes are more than just habits. They're symbols of a mindset that refuses to be molded by society. You weren't built to follow the crowd. You were built to build something the crowd will one day follow. So own it, embrace it, live it. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more Sigmas. Sigmas, if this video resonated with you, don't just scroll past. Like this video, subscribe, and join this growing community of men who live by purpose, not popularity. Let's keep building, growing, and standing firm in who we are. Apply these Sigma traits to your life, not to impress, but to impact. Having said this, some men are rare, but you're an entirely different species. Ever felt like you're not just walking a different path, but building an entirely new road no one even knows exists? When most people were fighting to fit in, you sat at the edge. Not lonely, but powerful. While others scrambled for attention, you found strength in silence. While many chased validation, you built empires inside your mind. You're not just a Sigma, you're something even rarer. In the world of male personality archetypes, Sigma males already stand apart. Known for their independence, emotional intelligence, and self-reliance, they often move outside traditional social hierarchies. But there's a level even beyond that. Men who aren't just nonconformists, but visionary builders. Ones who redefine what success, connection, and identity even mean. Studies on leadership and psychology show that individuals who consistently reject societal validation and focus on intrinsic goals tend to create massive impact. Think Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, or Steve Jobs. Today, Sigmas, we're diving deep. 10 signs you're more rare than just a Sigma, and why your existence is making waves without you even trying. These signs reflect traits like extreme emotional resilience, creative innovation, deep empathy coupled with razor-sharp logic, and an unstoppable commitment to personal truth. Let's find out if you're operating at a level the world can barely recognize, but desperately needs. Number 1, you redefine freedom. Freedom for most people looks like quitting a 9-to-5 job. They picture tossing their resignation letter onto their boss's desk and riding off into the sunset. But for you, freedom is something far deeper. It's not just about where you work or how you earn a living. It's about mental sovereignty. Mental sovereignty means you own your mind. You are not easily manipulated by fear, trends, opinions, or social pressures. In psychology, this ties closely to the concept of internal locus of control, the belief that you shape your own destiny rather than being controlled by outside forces. Studies show that individuals with an internal locus of control experience greater life satisfaction, resilience, and success. You're not just trying to escape the rat race, you're evolving beyond it. Systems, structures, expectations. You recognize them, but you're not shackled by them. You know that true freedom isn't about quitting a job or moving to a new city. It's about where your mind has the freedom to roam, imagine, and create without limits. While others are busy writing I quit letters and plotting a small escape, you're building a spaceship to another galaxy. In other words, you're crafting entirely new possibilities, new ways of living, thinking, and existing that others can't even fathom yet. It's visionary thinking, the kind that pioneers, inventors, and thought leaders have always embraced. The real revolution is not external, it's internal. Freedom begins in the mind, and once you have mental sovereignty, no system, no job, no social expectation can ever cage you again. Your playground is no longer the office or even the country, it's the entire universe of ideas. Number 2, you make silence your superpower. When others crumble under silence, you thrive in it. Most people are uncomfortable when the noise dies down. They reach for their phones, turn on the TV, or fill the air with meaningless chatter. But you sit calmly, staring into the stillness, as if it's an old friend. This isn't just about liking solitude, it's a powerful psychological advantage. Studies in behavioral psychology show that those who can be alone with their thoughts without distress demonstrate higher emotional resilience, deeper self-awareness, and a stronger sense of identity. In a world obsessed with constant stimulation, your ability to embrace silence sets you apart as rare and formidable. You don't just prefer being alone, you confront the vast, often chaotic universe within your mind. Where others flinch at their own thoughts, you explore them fearlessly. This inner strength isn't about isolation, it's about mastery. You understand that true growth often happens in moments of quiet reflection, not in the noise of endless distractions. Sigmas remember loudness fades, depth remains, trends will come and go. The loudest voices often burn out the fastest, but depth, real soul-forged depth, stands the test of time. And you, my friend, are an ocean where most are puddles. While puddles evaporate under a little heat, an ocean endures storms, shifts tides, and remains vast, mysterious, and powerful. Your silence speaks volumes. It tells the world that you don't need to prove yourself with noise. Your existence, your stillness, and your depth are enough. Never forget that your quiet strength is not weakness, it is your superpower. Number 3, you intimidate without trying. You didn't even say a word, and yet somehow everyone noticed. It's not your muscles, it's not your clothes, it's the weight of your presence. Your energy speaks louder than bragging ever could. Scientists have actually studied this phenomenon. It's called emotional contagion, where people can sense and pick up on the emotions, moods, and confidence of others without a single word being exchanged. Your energy, calm, powerful, self-assured, broadcasts itself louder than any shout across a crowded room. It's like your aura walked into the room 10 minutes before you did and reserved a seat. Psychologists call this nonverbal dominance. It's not about forcing your way into the spotlight. It's about your space without desperation. Confident people give off subtle cues, steady eye contact, relaxed posture, controlled breathing that trigger an unconscious respect from those around them. In simple terms, presence is silent charisma. People are biologically wired to scan for leaders and threats. When you walk in with balanced energy, not needing approval, not seeking attention, you immediately trigger people's ancient instincts. You seem like someone they should notice, someone who's in control, someone who already knows their worth. Think of powerful historical figures. It wasn't just their speeches that moved mountains. It was the energy they carried before they ever spoke a word. Number 4, you play long-term games. While others chase TikTok fame and temporary attention, you, Sigma, are busy planting seeds that will one day become towering trees, strong, enduring, and impactful. It's easy to get caught up in the race for quick validation. Studies even show that dopamine spikes from social media likes create addictive cycles, making instant gratification a norm in today's world. But not for you. You see 10 steps ahead, playing chess while others play checkers. Sigma males understand a key truth. Real success is not built overnight. Instead, it is a slow, intentional process, much like planting an orchard. You plant today, nurture tomorrow, and one day generations will sit under the shade you created. You are not looking for the world's applause. You are building a legacy that will outlast the noise of today's trends. Fast rewards may seem sweet, but they are often hollow. Research shows that those who seek immediate gratification tend to struggle more with long-term achievements, whether in finances, relationships, or personal growth. Sigmas, however, delay gratification with incredible discipline. You invest in your future self, in knowledge, character, financial stability, and inner peace. And trust me, your future self is already smiling with pride at the foundations you're laying down. In a world obsessed with now, you, Sigma, are mastering the art of later. You are proof that patience, vision, and perseverance are still the greatest superpowers. Keep building, keep planting. The world might not notice today, but one day it will stand in awe of what you have grown. Number 5, you have the power to walk away from anything. You don't cling, you don't beg, you don't chase. If it doesn't serve your soul, your peace, or your principles, you're gone, like a boss ghosting a bad Wi-Fi signal. If it's shaky, you're out. This attitude isn't about arrogance or being cold-hearted. It's about self-respect and emotional intelligence. Studies have shown that emotionally healthy individuals set strong boundaries, and setting boundaries is linked to lower levels of stress and higher self-esteem. When you cling to what drains you, you're sending a subconscious message to yourself that your worth is negotiable. But when you walk away from what disturbs your peace, you reinforce a much deeper truth. Your peace is priceless. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to have a Zoom meeting with a glitchy Wi-Fi connection. It's frustrating, time-wasting, and ineffective. No matter how much you want it to work, at some point you realize you're better off disconnecting and finding a stronger signal. Life and relationships work the same way. When something or someone is shaky, inconsistent, or draining, the best move isn't to force it. It's to move on with grace. People who master this mindset are often seen as powerful, magnetic, and even mysterious. Why? Because they value themselves enough not to chase validation or beg for belonging. They operate from abundance, not desperation. They understand that true alignment feels peaceful, not painful. Number 6, you turn pain into art. Pain is often seen as a hurdle, something that weakens us or holds us back. But for those who understand the deeper mechanics of life, pain is not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it's something to be alchemized. What does this mean? Alchemy, the ancient practice of transforming base materials into gold, serves as the perfect metaphor for how pain can be transformed into something powerful. Sigmas, you are a unique breed of individuals who have learned to take the very experiences that would break others and mold them into something extraordinary. Where others may crumble under the weight of heartbreak, betrayal, or failure, you don't just survive, you thrive. You turn your pain into your greatest asset. Every setback, every challenge, and every loss becomes the fuel for your personal evolution. Your scars, both seen and unseen, are not signs of weakness, but of resilience. They are the brushstrokes that paint the masterpiece of your life. Each experience, no matter how painful, adds depth and richness to the canvas of who you are. The cracks in your soul, instead of limiting you, allow light to shine through in unique and powerful ways. This ability to transform pain into strength is not something that happens overnight. It requires a deep understanding of self, a commitment to growth, and an unshakable belief that your journey is not defined by your pain, but by your response to it. For Sigmas, broken pieces are not vulnerabilities. They are a testament to your strength and a crucial part of the mosaic that tells your unstoppable story. You don't just endure the trials of life, you use them to build something greater. And in doing so, you prove that no matter what life throws at you, you can always turn it into gold. Number 7, you're highly selective, even about opportunities. In life, many people make impulsive decisions based on the allure of something shiny, something new, or something exciting. They see a ladder of opportunity and climb it without considering the long-term implications. This can lead to wasted energy, missed chances, or even regret. But for those who understand the art of strategic decision-making, the approach is vastly different. Before making a move, you take your time. You observe the situation, you assess the risks. You don't say yes just because the opportunity looks appealing at first glance. You evaluate every angle, considering the consequences, potential rewards, and setbacks that could follow. In other words, you vet your options thoroughly. This isn't about jumping into the next shiny thing. It's about making calculated, deliberate choices that align with your long-term vision. Think of it like playing chess. While others are running around like children playing duck, duck, goose, you're calmly and strategically mapping out your next move. In chess, every piece, every move, and every decision counts. You don't just react, you plan. Every move is deliberate, every outcome carefully thought through. This level of calculated action can be the difference between success and failure. While others are caught up in the immediate thrill of a game, you're thinking about the next 5 steps ahead, ensuring that when you move, it's with purpose and precision. In this world, timing is everything. And when you make your move, you want it to be surgical, well-timed, well thought out, and effective. Only then can you play the game of life like a true master, not just reacting to the present, but shaping your future. Number 8, you are comfortable being misunderstood. When you operate at a frequency that most people can't hear, it's only natural that they might label you as weird. But here's the thing, Sigmas. Being misunderstood is often a sign that you're doing something right. You're not here to conform to the expectations of others. Instead, you walk your own path, led by your own purpose and vision. Sigmas don't waste time trying to explain themselves to people who don't get it. They know that when you're operating on a higher level, those who truly understand will naturally be drawn to you. Your vibe, your energy, your way of thinking. It resonates with those who are aligned with your frequency. The others? They simply aren't on the same wavelength, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey. This is where the magic happens. By staying true to your course, you're creating a ripple effect that may not be immediately visible, but over time, it will be undeniable. The world might not understand you today, but as you continue to follow your path with unwavering confidence and strength, the respect and admiration will come. So Sigmas, don't get discouraged by the naysayers or those who think you're out of sync. Your uniqueness is your strength. Keep moving forward with purpose, knowing that the seeds you're planting today will bloom into recognition and reverence tomorrow. Keep rising above the noise, and you'll find your place in the world, not as someone who's just weird, but as someone who led the charge to something greater. Stay the course. Number 9, you lead without needing a following. The idea of walking your truth without seeking admiration or attention is a powerful concept, especially when it comes to living authentically. You're not striving to be admired or followed, nor are you trying to win anyone's approval. Instead, you're focused on staying true to who you are, walking in alignment with your values, beliefs, and purpose. This creates an energy that draws people in without any effort on your part. Living authentically doesn't mean being perfect, but rather it means embracing your unique self and your personal journey. People are often attracted to those who are unapologetically themselves because authenticity radiates confidence, freedom, and trust in one's path. When you're authentic, you give others the space to do the same, allowing them to feel more comfortable in expressing their true selves as well. In fact, this kind of personal power can be contagious. Interestingly, the more you walk your truth, the more you naturally influence those around you. This influence isn't about leading others or directing them to follow in your footsteps. It's about setting an example of what it means to live unapologetically and in harmony with your values. People who resonate with your energy may start looking to you for guidance or inspiration, but not because you're forcing it, simply because your truth has sparked something in them. You didn't ask for admiration, but it will come. You didn't ask for a fan club, but it may form anyway, as others are drawn to your authenticity. It's not about trying to cultivate followers or basking in the attention. It's simply about being yourself and allowing that to be enough. And sometimes, that's all it takes to inspire those around you to be more true to themselves as well. Number 10, you know you're still evolving. You know you're rare. Not because you believe you've reached your peak, but because you understand there's always another level to strive for. This mindset separates high achievers from those who are simply content with where they are. Ego, the voice that often seeks comfort and validation, says, "I'm done." It convinces you that you've reached a certain point and there's no need to push further. But true greatness doesn't settle. It whispers, "We're just getting started." This is where the Sigma male thrives. The Sigma male is not driven by external approval or accolades. Instead, they focus on their own path of constant evolution. Unlike other personalities who might reach a plateau and feel a sense of accomplishment, Sigmas see each achievement as a stepping stone towards something even greater. Growth isn't just an option for Sigmas, it's their native language. They constantly seek self-improvement, whether through mastering new skills, developing emotional intelligence, or deepening their understanding of the world. They know that true greatness comes from embracing the journey of self-discovery and learning, rather than resting on past successes. By maintaining this growth-focused mentality, Sigmas push past limitations, stay hungry for knowledge, and ultimately reach heights that many others would consider impossible. For Sigmas, the path is never over, and the pursuit of excellence is what drives them every day. Sigmas being rare isn't about isolation, it's about impact. It's about choosing depth over distraction. It's about building a life so authentic, so powerful, that your very existence is a revolution. You're not just a Sigma, you're an architect of the extraordinary. If you saw yourself in these signs, you're among the rarest of the rare. Join this community of unstoppable forces. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and let's build a tribe of true Sigmas living life on their own terms. Stay true and stay Sigma. Stay What if I told you there's a breed of men so unpredictable, so unconventional, that society just can't figure them out? Ever been told you're weird just because you don't chase the crowd, or wondered why you're always misunderstood even though you're just being you? Once a guy walked into a room, didn't say a word, and yet every eye followed him. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, he just had this presence. That silent intensity, that Sigma energy, a quiet storm. That, my friends, was a Sigma male. And society didn't know what to do with him. Sigma males break all the traditional molds. They don't crave validation. They're not looking to dominate like alphas or follow like betas. Instead, they create their own lane and walk it, alone if they have to. Psychology even supports this. Studies in personality theory show that Sigma-like traits, such as high introversion, strategic independence, and deep thinking, often correlate with success in leadership and creativity. Today, we're diving into 12 crazy things Sigma males do that confuse everyone. These aren't just quirks, they're insights into a mind that values freedom over fame and depth over drama. Let's unravel this enigma and see what makes the Sigma male the ultimate wild card. Number one, they disappear without warning and love it. Sigmas don't ghost, they vanish. One minute they're fully present, laughing at a joke or observing from the corner, and the next, gone. No warning, no dramatic exit, just silence. It leaves people confused, sometimes even offended, because most are conditioned to expect closure or a proper goodbye. But Sigma males aren't driven by social expectations. They move on instinct and inner alignment, not obligation. This behavior isn't about disrespect, it's about preservation. Sigmas are introverted alphas. They operate in bursts of social energy, but prolonged exposure drains them. Psychologically, this is rooted in how introverts recharge through solitude. Research from the Journal of Personality shows that introverts often experience social fatigue quicker than extroverts. For a Sigma, slipping away unnoticed is not a snub, it's a survival tactic. Their disappearing act is also strategic. Like Batman, they don't need the limelight. They observe, act, and retreat. And in that retreat, they regain clarity, recalibrate their focus, and come back stronger. It's not coldness, it's discipline. A Sigma male values his mental space more than meaningless small talk, and if that means vanishing without a trace, so be it. He isn't seeking approval, he's seeking peace, and that's his real power. Number two, they ignore social hierarchies completely. CEO, janitor, influencer, farmer. Sigmas treat everyone the same, and that disrupts the very hierarchy society depends on. In a world built on titles, ranks, and social clout, this is radical. Most people are conditioned to either seek approval from those above them or exert dominance over those below. But Sigmas don't follow that script. They view everyone as human first. Whether you're cleaning the floors or closing million-dollar deals, they'll judge you by your integrity, not your status. This attitude confuses people. Why isn't the Sigma groveling before the CEO or trying to impress the Instagram star? Because they genuinely don't care about the label. They care about authenticity. Studies in psychology suggest that people with high levels of self-differentiation, those who maintain their identity regardless of social pressure, are less likely to be influenced by status games. That's Sigma behavior in a nutshell. Imagine a black tie event. While others swarm the rich and famous, the Sigma might be chatting with the janitor about philosophy or asking the bartender about his dreams. That's not rebellion, that's sincerity. And in a society addicted to power and validation, this kind of level-headed respect is not just rare, it's revolutionary. Number three, they never ask for validation, ever. Sigmas are allergic to approval seeking, and that's not just a catchy phrase, it's a deeply rooted trait in their psychology. In today's digital age, social validation has become the currency of self-worth. People obsess over likes, retweets, and comments, often equating popularity with purpose. But Sigmas, they reject that game entirely. While the world is busy curating highlight reels, Sigmas are building the real thing, quietly, consistently, and without the need for applause. They don't post "felt cute," might delete later selfies because their identity isn't up for public vote. Their self-worth doesn't come from social media engagement, but from personal growth, achievements, and silent discipline. This behavior aligns with studies in psychology showing that those with an internal locus of control, people who believe they control their own destiny, tend to be more successful and emotionally resilient. It's confusing to outsiders because the Sigma's power doesn't scream, it whispers. They don't chase claps, they create waves. And here's the twist. That quiet confidence, it's magnetic. People are drawn to those who don't need validation to feel valuable. In a noisy world, Sigmas are the calm force that others can't help but notice. That's the real flex. Number 4, they love small groups or complete aloneness. Forget networking events or huge social mixes. Sigma males thrive in meaningful one-on-one conversations or deep solitude. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about rejecting anything inauthentic. Sigma males don't waste energy on surface-level chatter. They crave conversations that challenge ideas, stir emotions, and tap into real human experiences. Psychologists have noted that introverted personalities, especially those who exhibit high levels of self-awareness and independence, hallmarks of the Sigma archetype, tend to recharge in solitude. This downtime isn't emptiness, it's a mental reset. In those quiet moments, Sigma males aren't isolating, they're recalibrating, reflecting, and refining their next move. Research also shows that deep thinkers often require solitude to access creative insight. For Sigmas, this silence is sacred ground, the place where their most powerful ideas are born, and because they operate from such a centered internal place, people often struggle to read them. They don't project their emotions like others. Their energy is subtle but potent, tuned to a frequency few are aware of, let alone understand. So while others hustle for attention in crowded rooms, Sigma males are quietly building empires, either in deep dialogue or silent clarity. They don't need the spotlight, they are the signal in a world full of noise. Number 5, they're fierce observers, not big talkers. You'll often find a Sigma male sitting quietly, not awkwardly but intentionally. While others might feel the need to chatter just to fill the air, the Sigma chooses silence with purpose. He's not disengaged, he's observing. Every glance, tone, and gesture is being logged in his mental database. He's reading the room like a chessboard, planning his next move, not for manipulation, but for precision. This behavior is rooted in strong emotional intelligence and heightened situational awareness. Studies in psychology show that people who listen more than they speak tend to make better decisions and are perceived as more trustworthy. That's exactly what the Sigma taps into, and then it happens. He speaks, not often, but when he does, it lands with weight. His words are measured, impactful, and often cut through the fluff with brutal honesty. This directness can make some uncomfortable, especially those used to sugar-coated conversations, but it also commands respect. People begin to realize his quiet isn't emptiness, it's calculation. His silence isn't shyness, it's strength. In a world full of noise, the Sigma's calm, deliberate presence stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. He doesn't need to shout to be heard. His silence is his strategy. Number 6, they make unpredictable life choices. That Sigma who left a 6-figure job to live in a cabin in the woods? Yeah, him. He's not crazy, he's calculated. Sigmas aren't interested in following society's well-worn blueprints. They follow something far deeper, purpose. While most are obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder, a Sigma pauses and asks, why are we all building the same life? Research shows that job satisfaction isn't always linked to salary. In fact, a 2022 study by McKinsey found that 70% of employees said their work defined their sense of purpose, not their paycheck. Sigmas understand this on an instinctive level. They chase freedom over fame, solitude over spotlight, and meaning over money. Their unpredictability makes them powerful. Society struggles to define them, and that's the point. While others seek validation, Sigmas move silently, driven by an inner compass few can comprehend. Their path isn't rebellious for the sake of it, it's intentional. Choosing to live in a cabin isn't about escaping life, it's about embracing it on their terms. That rare kind of boldness confuses some and inspires others. Because when a Sigma walks away from everything society values, he often discovers something far more valuable himself. Would you choose purpose over paycheck? Number 7, they're impervious to peer pressure. Sigmas don't care about fitting in, and that's one of the things that sets them apart. Unlike those who seek approval through conformity, Sigmas follow their own values, not the opinions of others. They don't dress to impress, they dress to express their true selves, reflecting their unique identity. Their choices aren't influenced by societal pressures or trends. They wear what resonates with them, not what's expected. When it comes to social interactions, Sigmas are authentic. They won't laugh at a joke simply to fit in, especially if it's not funny to them. They don't engage in surface-level conversations or pretend to agree just to avoid conflict. For Sigmas, authenticity is key, and they are willing to stand apart to stay true to themselves. This kind of independence can make others uneasy. People who thrive on conformity feel threatened by Sigma's refusal to comply with societal norms. But here's the thing, Sigma's authenticity is a gift to others. It frees those around them to be more genuine too. They inspire others to embrace their uniqueness and reject the pressure to conform, creating space for a more authentic and liberated environment for all. Number 8, they master many skills alone. Sigmas are the ultimate DIY warriors. Whether it's learning to play the guitar, coding an app, or picking up a completely new skill, Sigmas are the ones who dive in headfirst and learn everything on their own. They don't rely on formal education, classrooms, or instructors. Instead, they spend hours on tutorials, practice relentlessly, and push themselves to master new abilities in complete silence. Take learning an instrument, for instance. A Sigma will binge-watch tutorials for months, studying every technique, then practice every day until their fingers are sore. They're not seeking external validation. They do it because they're driven by personal growth and satisfaction. Similarly, if a Sigma decides to learn how to code, they'll spend time building their own apps, figuring out solutions to complex problems, and gaining expertise before ever asking for help or even showing anyone what they've been working on. Why do they do this? Because learning in silence is their superpower. Unlike those who need validation or external recognition to feel motivated, Sigmas thrive when they can explore their own interests quietly and independently. The process of self-teaching allows them to master skills without the pressure or distractions of others. There's no classroom environment, no need for approval, and no competition, just pure focus on personal growth. What others often don't realize is how quietly brilliant Sigmas are. While they might not flaunt their talents, when the time comes to showcase their skills, they do so with such confidence and mastery that it catches everyone by surprise. That's the Sigma way. Learn, master, and then quietly wow the world with their capabilities. Number 9, they challenge norms without raising their voice. Sigmas don't lead protests. Instead, they live rebelliously. Rather than demanding change through loud speeches or public demonstrations, they reject tradition quietly but powerfully. They make deliberate choices that defy societal norms, whether it's in their career, lifestyle, or appearance, often with a sense of calm confidence that makes it look effortless. This kind of silent rebellion is more impactful than it might seem. It doesn't need to be loud to be noticed. When a Sigma male rejects the standard path, whether it's in their unconventional career choices, unique fashion, or independent way of thinking, they send a clear message. It's a message that resonates deeply, especially in a world that often pressures individuals to follow the herd. What's fascinating about Sigmas is that their rebellion doesn't scream for attention, it simply exists. This quiet courage, this subtle defiance, confuses people because it's not aggressive, yet it's deeply inspiring. By living authentically, Sigmas show others that it's possible to break free from societal expectations and live life on their own terms. In doing so, they inspire others to find their own path of individuality and freedom. Number 10, they're friendly but impossible to get close to. People are drawn to Sigmas. Their intriguing, magnetic personalities capture attention, and their charm can be irresistible. However, just when someone thinks they've gotten close, the Sigma suddenly establishes distance, creating an emotional boundary that can leave others puzzled. So why do Sigmas behave this way? It's simple. They value trust above all else. After facing betrayal or hurt in the past, Sigmas become cautious about who they let into their inner world. To them, trust isn't something easily earned. It's a sacred element that can't be bought with surface-level interest. They don't just open up to anyone. They require authenticity, consistency, and time. This guarded approach can confuse others, especially when they mistake it for arrogance or aloofness. But for Sigmas, it's not about creating walls to keep people out. Instead, it's a protective measure designed to preserve their peace of mind. They understand that true connection comes only when mutual respect and trust have been established. And until then, they remain selective about who gets access to their vulnerable side. This balance of independence and trust is what makes the Sigma so compelling, yet elusive. Number 11, they value silence more than talk. Awkward silence? not for Sigma males. In fact, silence is their secret weapon. While most people might feel uncomfortable during quiet moments, Sigmas thrive in them. Imagine spending an hour in complete silence with someone, yet feeling closer than after a long, drawn-out conversation. That's the Sigma experience. Many of us have been taught that meaningful connections require constant conversation, but Sigmas understand something deeper. They bond not through words, but through energy, presence, and vibes. They don't need to fill every space with talk. Their connection is felt, not heard. It's an unspoken understanding that creates a rare, genuine bond. Sigmas are masters of comfort in silence. They don't need to talk to prove their connection or validate their presence. This ability to be still and at ease is something that most people struggle with. In a world filled with noise and constant chatter, finding someone who can sit in silence with you and still share a strong bond is incredibly rare and real. This isn't about being distant or disinterested. Instead, it's about being so comfortable in one another's presence that silence becomes an intimate form of communication. It's a reminder that the most powerful connections don't always need words, just genuine energy. Number 12, they don't compete, they create. Sigmas aren't interested in competing with others. Instead, they're laser-focused on personal growth, striving to outdo themselves from the day before. While the world around them gets caught up in a cycle of comparison, Sigmas are busy shaping their future. They know that the real competition is with their own potential, and they channel their energy into breaking personal barriers and expanding their abilities. This mindset is both powerful and perplexing. It's powerful because Sigmas operate from a place of self-discipline and self-awareness. They recognize that their only true rival is the version of themselves that existed yesterday. By constantly challenging their own limits, they ensure progress without relying on external validation. But it's also perplexing to others because, unlike those who chase the spotlight, Sigmas often shine without ever seeking attention. They're not interested in proving themselves to anyone, they just want to improve. As a result, their achievements seem effortless and natural. While others may scramble for recognition or success, Sigmas move in silence, making strides toward greatness without a need for applause. The paradox here is clear. Sigmas don't follow conventional paths to success. They don't seek out accolades or competition. Instead, they focus inward, crafting a life that's meaningful on their own terms. And in doing so, they naturally become people that others admire. Sigmas, ever wonder why you can't stand small talk, clingy people, or power-hungry bosses? You're not crazy, you're just wired differently. And in today's overstimulated world, that's a hidden advantage. Modern psychology identifies the Sigma male as someone who operates outside traditional social hierarchies. He doesn't conform to the alpha-beta dynamic. Instead, he charts his own path. He values freedom over control, purpose over popularity, and depth over distraction. Studies in personality theory link Sigma behavior to introverted intuition and a high need for autonomy, traits often associated with INTJ or ISTP types on the Myers-Briggs scale. Now imagine this. A man walks into a party filled with surface-level chatter, performative laughter, and ego-driven games. He doesn't stick around to compete or impress. He sees through the facade and leaves quietly, not out of arrogance, but alignment. He knows his energy is sacred, and he chooses not to waste it on meaningless noise. The Sigma male doesn't hate people, he just prefers authentic connection over forced interaction. He doesn't fear authority, he rejects manipulation. What society calls antisocial, he calls clarity. In this video, we'll unpack the 8 things Sigma males absolutely hate, and more importantly, why. Get ready to see the world through a different lens. Number 1, fake people and surface-level conversations. Sigmas have an uncanny radar for detecting fakeness. It's not just a hunch, it's their finely tuned observation skills and deep emotional intelligence at play. Like a lone wolf sniffing out danger, a Sigma can sense when someone is being disingenuous. Whether it's forced small talk about the weather or exaggerated laughs over some shallow celebrity drama, it immediately sets off internal alarms. It's not that they're antisocial. It's that they value authenticity over social rituals. Sigmas are wired for depth. Conversations without substance bore them. They're the kind of people who'd rather discuss the vastness of the universe, the mysteries of human consciousness, or the struggles of personal growth than talk about the latest fashion trends. They're drawn to topics with meaning, philosophy, psychology, dreams, purpose, even pain. If the connection isn't real, they quietly pull back. You'll often find Sigma zoning out during surface-level conversations, not out of rudeness, but because their mind is simply elsewhere, exploring deeper truths. There's a psychological reason behind this. Research shows that individuals with high introversion and intuition, often associated with Sigma traits, experience social fatigue faster when the interaction lacks emotional or intellectual engagement. Pretending to be interested drains their energy. That's why they value solitude, not because they're antisocial, but because solitude allows them to recharge and stay true to themselves. Sigmas don't wear masks. They have no time for playing roles to please others. For them, authenticity is a lifestyle, not a choice. They understand that pretending might help you fit in, but at the cost of your soul. And that's a price they're never willing to pay. In a world obsessed with filters and facades, Sigmas stand out by staying real. Silence with truth is always better than noise with lies. Number 2, authority without integrity. You know that boss who loves flashing their title like it's a trophy but can't lead a team through a 5-minute meeting without chaos? Or the teacher who insists on respect but never actually earns it through skill or presence? Yeah. Sigma males see right through that, and they can't stand it. Sigmas don't worship titles, they respect. They admire real, not empty authority. If someone knows what they're doing, treats others with integrity, and leads by example, a Sigma will follow. Gladly. But the second that leadership turns into a power trip, they're out. Why? Because Sigmas value. According to psychological studies, people who possess a strong internal locus of control, the belief that they control their own fate, are less likely to submit to arbitrary authority. That's the Sigma mindset. They don't blindly obey, they analyze, they question, and if something doesn't align with their values or logic, they'll walk away, no matter who's barking orders. It's not about being rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It's about protecting their independence. Sigmas understand that submission to unearned authority is the first step toward losing yourself, and they fought too hard to build their identity to just give it up for someone's inflated ego. Real power, to a Sigma, isn't about commanding others. It's about mastering yourself. They see through the facade, and they refuse to be pawns in someone else's game. So next time someone tries to flex their title without backing it up with real leadership, just know Sigmas are already halfway out the door. Number 3, clingy, needy energy. You ever had someone text you 14 times because you didn't respond right away? Or guilt trip you just because you needed some alone time? That's a Sigma male's worst nightmare. Sigmas value independence, both their own and that of others. They're not trying to escape relationships, but they absolutely avoid emotional suffocation. For them, emotional clinginess isn't just annoying. It feels like being put in chains. They don't need constant validation or hourly updates. What they need is space to breathe, to think, to recharge. Alone time isn't a red flag for them, it's fuel. Psychologists have actually studied this kind of personality. The Sigma male often aligns with the introverted, intuitive type, someone who thrives in solitude and uses it to process thoughts deeply. According to Carl Jung's personality theory, introverted, intuitive individuals are driven more by their inner world than by external approval. That's why a Sigma doesn't feel the need to constantly explain themselves or seek social permission for how they operate. But here's the twist. Sigmas aren't avoiding people out of fear. They're not running from relationships. They just refuse to be trapped in emotional codependency. They see life as a journey, and in that journey, each person should walk on their own 2 feet. If someone is always leaning on them for emotional support without offering personal stability, that throws off the balance. Sigmas are explorers, not escape artists. They crave depth and meaning, but only in connections that allow freedom. If a person can't stand strong on their own, a Sigma won't carry them. They'll walk alone instead, not out of cruelty, but out of principle. Their solitude is a sanctuary, not a punishment. Are you giving them room to roam or trying to cage a wild spirit? That's the real question. Number 4, mindless trends and popular opinion. What's hot today? A TikTok dance, a celebrity feud, a viral scandal? Sigma males couldn't care less, and here's why that matters. Sigmas don't follow the herd. They don't care what's trending on social media or what the latest viral meme is. While others are busy refreshing their feeds for the next big thing, Sigmas are building things that last. They're not interested in keeping up with appearances. They're focused on substance, not style. They don't change their wardrobe, their opinions, or their identities every time the wind blows a different direction online. Why are they like this? Because they understand a timeless truth. A TikTok challenge lasts a week. A news headline fades by tomorrow. But core values like honesty, discipline, and purpose never go out of style. Sigmas are anchored in those values. While the world jumps from one distraction to the next, Sigmas are grounded psychologically. This mindset is rooted in a belief that one's life is shaped by inner choices, not external trends. Studies show that people with a strong internal locus of control are more likely to resist peer pressure, perform better in stressful environments, and have greater self-motivation. That's textbook Sigma behavior. Entertaining? Maybe not in the flashy viral sense, but admirable? Absolutely. Because while everyone else is chasing relevance, Sigmas are chasing reality. And in the long run, it's the real ones who leave the deepest mark. So while the world is busy being loud, Sigmas are quietly doing what matters. They're not avoiding trends to be rebels. They're avoiding distractions to stay true. And that kind of authenticity never goes out of style. Number 5, forced socialization in crowded environments, packed clubs, office parties, networking events with name tags and awkward smiles. Sigmas would rather walk barefoot through Legos. It's not that they hate people, they simply prefer authenticity over superficial interaction. While others may thrive in the buzz of social gatherings, Sigmas often find such environments mentally exhausting. Why? Because forced energy drains their power, and Sigmas guard their energy like gold. Let's break it down. The human brain uses a surprising amount of energy for social interaction. According to neuroscientific research, maintaining eye contact, interpreting body language, and managing small talk all require cognitive effort. For Sigma males, who tend to be more introspective and autonomous, this can feel overwhelming, especially in environments where conformity and performative friendliness are the norm. Psychologists identify Sigmas as lone wolves, not antisocial, but selectively social. They crave meaningful dialogue, not the usual surface-level chatter. Give them a quiet cafe and a thought-provoking conversation and they light up. Throw them into a loud room full of status jockeying and shallow networking, and they mentally check out. What makes this fascinating is that Sigmas aren't necessarily shy. In fact, many are highly confident and observant, but they value their time and emotional bandwidth. They're wired to protect their mental space from noise, drama, and unnecessary distractions. In a world that often equates popularity with success, Sigmas flip the script. They choose depth over drama, clarity over chaos, and solitude over social pressure. It's not that they're trying to be mysterious, it's just that peace is their priority. So the next time you see someone skip the office mixer to go hiking alone or stay home reading while others hit the bar, don't mistake it for rudeness. It might just be the mark of a Sigma. Someone who finds power in presence, not performance. Number 6. Manipulation and emotional games. Sigma males have a unique approach to relationships and interactions that sets them apart from others, especially when it comes to emotional manipulation. When it comes to emotional games, like twisting words, guilt-tripping, or fishing for validation, Sigmas immediately detect the underlying motives and quickly distance themselves. For a Sigma, manipulation is not just a nuisance, it's a red flag that signals a lack of authenticity and respect. Why is this so? It all boils down to one core value that defines the Sigma male mindset: peace. Their inner peace is non-negotiable. Unlike other personality types who may seek external validation or thrive on drama, Sigmas understand that their peace and sense of autonomy are far more valuable than engaging in unnecessary emotional turbulence. They are individuals who are comfortable in their own skin and do not need the validation of others to feel secure. Emotional manipulation, whether it's through guilt-tripping or trying to control someone's emotions, works like a slow poison. It subtly undermines trust and creates a toxic environment where individuals feel constantly on edge, questioning their worth and intentions. Sigmas, however, are keenly aware of how this manipulation can erode relationships. They value authenticity and honesty in others, and they're quick to spot when someone is trying to manipulate their emotions for personal gain. For Sigmas, life is about focusing on what truly matters: personal growth, meaningful connections, and maintaining peace. They don't engage in the drama that others might find entertaining or necessary to feel validated. If someone tries to pull them into a game of emotional manipulation, they simply walk away, preserving their energy and peace. This doesn't mean Sigmas lack empathy or are cold-hearted. On the contrary, they are deeply in tune with their emotions and the emotions of others, but they choose to invest in relationships that are grounded in respect and mutual understanding. Manipulative tactics, however, create an imbalance that Sigmas are not willing to tolerate. For them, authenticity and emotional clarity are the currencies that truly matter. In the end, Sigmas understand that peace is not just a state of mind, but a way of life. By avoiding toxic interactions, they protect their well-being and ensure that their relationships are built on a foundation of trust, not manipulation. Number 7. Shallow ambitions and status climbing. The world often seems obsessed with external markers of success. Corner offices, designer clothes, and the pursuit of social media fame with 100K followers. For many, these are the ultimate goals, the symbols of achievement. However, to a Sigma male, none of these things hold any real value. In fact, the flashy exterior of success can often be seen as a distraction from the deeper, more meaningful aspects of life. Sigma males operate on a different level. While society tends to focus on appearances, they focus on impact. They're not chasing the next trend or seeking validation from others. Instead, they are driven by a desire to create something meaningful and lasting, something that reflects their true values. A Sigma doesn't need the corner office or the social media fame to feel successful. They find fulfillment in knowing their work or actions have made a difference, even if that difference isn't immediately visible to the public eye. One reason why Sigmas reject the race for validation is because they understand a fundamental truth. External approval is fleeting. The rush of gaining likes or followers doesn't provide lasting satisfaction. It's a temporary high, a momentary validation that quickly fades. Sigmas are aware that this cycle can become a trap, one that ultimately leaves people empty. They don't need external validation because they already know who they are. Their sense of self-worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. This inner confidence allows Sigma males to step away from the conventional paths of success. While others are fighting for attention and recognition, Sigmas are quietly building a legacy that reflects their true identity. They understand that real success isn't measured by the number of followers or the flashy accolades. It's measured by the quality of one's actions and the positive impact they have on the world and the people around them. In this sense, being a Sigma is not just about rejecting societal norms, it's about choosing to live authentically, unencumbered by the pressures of conforming to an image. They prioritize depth over surface-level appearances, and their focus is on long-term fulfillment, not temporary rewards. For Sigmas, success is personal, and it's defined by the meaningful contributions they make to the world, not by the external recognition they receive. Number 8, being told how to think, live, or feel. Sigmas are the masters of independence. They are thinkers, seekers, and rebels with a purpose. And they pride themselves on following their own path, not society's expectations. Unlike many who follow predetermined scripts about how to live, what to do, or how to feel, Sigmas reject any attempt to control their thoughts, actions, or beliefs. The constant pressure to conform to societal standards doesn't faze them. In fact, they thrive in it because it presents an opportunity to break away and chart their own course. Why does this matter? For a Sigma, freedom isn't just a luxury, it's a fundamental value. It's what allows them to remain authentic, pursue their own goals, and avoid the trap of living according to someone else's rules. While others may feel compelled to follow the crowd or embrace common societal beliefs, Sigmas see this as a form of mental slavery. They understand that true freedom comes not just from the physical world, but from the mental and emotional space to think independently and question everything. This need for freedom is deeply ingrained. From the moment a Sigma rejects conventional societal norms, they begin to embrace an open-minded approach to life. They do not blindly accept the "you should do this" or "everyone feels this way" mentality. Instead, they choose to question, challenge, and explore possibilities that others may never consider. In the end, their willingness to be themselves in a world full of expectations is what makes them stand out. So whether it's their career, relationships, or beliefs, Sigmas will always prioritize their freedom to make choices because to them, nothing is more sacred than the right to live on their own terms. Sigmas, here's the truth. The world will always try to shape you into what it wants, obedient, trendy, dependent, and distracted. But you weren't built for that mold. You were built to question, to walk alone, to lead quietly, and to live deeply. The things you hate, they're not flaws, they're signals. Proof that you're awake in a world that's asleep, so embrace it, protect your peace, guard your mind, walk your path, even if no one claps for it, because in that solitude is your strength. Sigmas, if this video spoke to you, then you already know this is your tribe. Hit that like button, subscribe, and become part of this growing community of independent thinkers, lone wolves, and silent leaders. Apply these Sigma qualities in your life. Be bold, be honest, be untamed, stay true, and stay Sigma. He walks alone, yet never lonely. He doesn't seek approval, but commands respect. Why do Sigma males seem so emotionally detached, almost like they're living in their own dimension? This isn't coldness, it's clarity. This isn't indifference, it's intention. Today we're diving deep into the enigma. You're about to find out why this quiet confidence shakes the room and why detachment isn't weakness, it's power. Sigma males operate from a deep internal compass. Unlike alpha males who thrive on leadership and dominance, or beta males who follow social hierarchies, Sigmas step completely outside the structure. Their emotional detachment is actually a form of high emotional intelligence. They don't waste energy on people-pleasing, gossip, or emotional drama. They choose peace over noise, depth over surface, and purpose over popularity. Neuroscience supports this. Studies show that individuals who spend more time in introspection and solitude often exhibit stronger prefrontal cortex activity, responsible for rational thinking and self-regulation. This helps Sigmas make calculated decisions without emotional chaos clouding their judgment. It's not that they feel less, it's that they process more internally. They prefer meaningful connections over constant socializing, and when they love, it's with depth, not display. So if a Sigma male seems distant, don't mistake it for coldness. It's the distance of a man who knows himself, his path, and isn't easily swayed by the crowd. Let's jump in. Point 1, detachment is a form of control. Sigmas don't distance themselves because they're cold. They do it because they refuse to be controlled. This behavior is often misunderstood. While alphas seek leadership and betas seek belonging, Sigma males operate in a third category. They are self-directed and internally validated. Their detachment isn't emotional coldness, it's a psychological boundary. Sigmas understand that constant external influence can cloud judgment and weaken independence, so they create distance, not out of spite, but out of clarity. Psychologically, this behavior ties into what's known as self-differentiation, a concept in family systems theory. It refers to a person's ability to maintain their sense of self while still remaining emotionally connected to others. Sigmas are naturally high in this trait. They know who they are, and they don't let social pressure reshape them. Imagine life as a stage play. Most people are worried about their role, their lines, their costume, and the audience's applause. Sigmas, they're backstage building their own theater. Take a networking event, for example. Everyone's buzzing around trying to impress the most influential person in the room. The Sigma, he's not there to impress, he's there to observe, to gather information, and to decide if the environment aligns with his values. He may not say much, but when he does, it lands with impact. His confidence doesn't scream, it resonates. This isn't arrogance, it's strategic silence. Sigmas know that detachment is a strength when used wisely. It grants them clarity, resilience, and autonomy. They're not avoiding connection, they're choosing meaningful connections over shallow ones. So when a Sigma distances himself, don't assume he's cold. He's simply guarding the freedom that allows him to think clearly, act independently, and live authentically. Point 2, they value inner peace over outer chaos. A Sigma male would rather spend his Friday night reading, thinking, or building something meaningful than drowning in small talk at a party. Why? Because he understands the cost of peace, and he's willing to pay it. In a world that glorifies constant social interaction and stimulation, the Sigma male chooses solitude, not out of arrogance, but out of wisdom. While most people chase excitement and distraction, Sigmas chase clarity and calm. He's not running from people, he's running toward purpose. That's why you'll often find him refining a skill, learning something new, or building something that adds long-term value to his life. It's a myth that Sigma males are cold or unemotional. In reality, they feel things deeply, often more deeply than others. But they've learned a powerful lesson. Emotions are not meant to control you. The modern world is full of emotional noise, arguments, gossip, superficial connections, and Sigmas have zero interest in any of it. They've trained themselves to rise above the chaos and protect their inner peace like a sacred temple. Psychologists describe this as emotional intelligence, the ability to regulate one's own emotions and detach from the chaos of others. According to a study published in the Individuals with high emotional regulation skills tend to experience lower stress and greater life satisfaction. That's Sigma energy in action. Sigma males aren't emotionless, they're simply drama-proof. They don't ignore feelings, they filter them. Their calm is not weakness, it's discipline. And their solitude isn't loneliness, it's their recharge station. They don't just seek peace, they embody it. So while others lose themselves in noise, the Sigma male sits with his thoughts, builds his vision, and lives deliberately. He's not avoiding life, he's mastering it. Point 3, they're purpose-driven, not people-driven. Here's a truth bomb worth unpacking. Sigma males aren't antisocial, they're anti-distraction. Contrary to the common myth, Sigma males don't avoid people because they dislike social interaction. In fact, they value meaningful connections, but only when those connections serve a greater purpose. For a Sigma male, relationships must align with their core values: vision, personal growth, and authenticity. If an interaction feels fake, shallow, or aimless, they won't hesitate to walk away. It's not rudeness, it's precision. This often gives off the illusion that Sigmas are cold or detached. But the truth is they're just living with intense focus. They understand that energy is finite, and spending it on empty relationships or drama is a liability. According to psychological research on introverted and independent personalities, people who are more self-reliant often experience higher levels of creativity and self-awareness. Sigma males fall into that category. They are wired to preserve their mental clarity and purpose. When you live with vision, not everyone will understand your path, and that's completely okay. Sigma males would rather walk alone with purpose than follow the crowd in the wrong direction. This solitude isn't isolation. It's intentional living. So if your journey feels lonely right now, maybe it's because you're walking towards something only you can see. Like the eagle that soars alone above the clouds, the Sigma male knows that clarity often comes at the cost of company. It's not about avoiding people. It's about avoiding distractions that blur your mission. That's not being antisocial, that's being strategic. Would you rather be popular and lost, or focused and fulfilled? Sigma has already made his choice. Point 4. Society's rules never really made sense to them. Since childhood, Sigma males have walked a different path. While most kids eagerly joined cliques and mimicked popular behaviors, Sigmas observed from a quiet distance. The school bells, the playground politics, the unspoken rules of fitting in, none of it made much sense to them. Sure, they could play along when necessary, but deep down, they were already scripting a life that didn't rely on approval. This early awareness isn't just personality, it's psychology. According to the Big 5 personality traits, Sigma males typically score high in, and which means they're naturally drawn to independent thought and internal reflection. They're not antisocial, they're selectively social. Fast forward to adulthood and you'll find these same Sigma traits on full display. To some, they appear distant or aloof, but it's not arrogance, it's clarity. Sigmas aren't cold, they're just uninterested in illusions. The daily grind for superficial success, the endless social posturing, the chase for digital applause, that's not their game. Instead, Sigma males are wired to chase meaning over metrics. They build lives around values rather than trends. Instead of asking, what will make me look good, they ask, what truly matters to me? It's why you'll often find them pursuing unconventional careers, living minimalist lifestyles, or diving deep into skills that bring personal fulfillment. This nonconformity can confuse people. Some see it as rebellion. Others mistake it for disinterest. But here's the truth. Sigma males aren't detached from life. They're just detached from illusions. They've opted out of the matrix, not because they can't play the game, but because they've realized the game isn't worth playing. Point 5. Emotional intelligence disguised as mystery. Here's the plot twist. Sigma males aren't emotionally clueless. They're emotionally wise. In a world that often equates emotional expression with strength, Sigma males flip the script. They've learned that not every emotion deserves a reaction, not every invitation needs a yes, and not every connection has to turn into a lifelong bond. This isn't detachment, it's discernment. While most people are conditioned to respond impulsively, arguing, reacting, oversharing, Sigma males master the art of emotional self-regulation. According to psychological studies, emotional intelligence includes self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. Sigma males excel in these areas not because they talk more about their feelings, but because they understand them deeply. They observe, they listen, they choose selectively. That distant aura isn't coldness, it's emotional clarity. Sigma males don't fear vulnerability, they just don't hand it out cheaply. They're not chasing approval or trying to fit in. They're assessing, constantly weighing who and what deserves their energy. You ever seen a Sigma male in a heated argument? He doesn't raise his voice, he doesn't storm out of the room, he simply goes quiet. Why? Because silence is power. Neuroscience shows that silence can actually reduce stress and boost clarity. In conflict, where others throw words like daggers, the Sigma wields silence like a sword. They don't engage in emotional drama, they transcend it. Their emotional maturity lies not in what they say, but in what they choose to say. So while the world rushes to react, the Sigma male remains a still point in the storm, calm, not cold, reflective, not removed. And that right there is emotional mastery, not mystery. Point 6. They choose depth over frequency. In today's world, where social media and public validation dominate, Sigma males thrive in the opposite direction. They don't chase likes or followers, they value authenticity over popularity. Unlike others who seek constant attention, a Sigma male prefers a few close, meaningful connections over a crowd of acquaintances. This preference for quality over quantity can make him appear distant, but it's simply a reflection of his focus on depth, not drama. A Sigma male isn't likely to share every thought, meal, or emotion online. His silence isn't a sign of coldness, it's intentional. He knows that sharing too much can diminish the value of what's truly important. Psychology supports this trait. People with high emotional intelligence often keep their thoughts to themselves, processing internally before sharing. Sigmas tend to reflect deeply, and when they do speak, their words are deliberate and impactful. Their silence isn't emptiness, but a powerful form of self-control. In a world filled with oversharing, Sigmas stand out because they embrace mystery and protect their peace. They understand that true strength lies not in being seen, but in being understood by those who truly matter. So when a Sigma opens up, it's a rare and meaningful moment, one you should treasure. Point 7. They operate outside the social pyramid. Society operates on a visible social hierarchy. At the top, you have the alpha, dominant, assertive, leading the pack. Below him, the beta, loyal, supportive, often seeking validation through group acceptance. Then there's everyone else, trying to find their place in the system. But the Sigma male? He's not even in the game. He quietly exits the stage, not with drama, but with intention. Think of him as the guy who walked out of the corporate ladder race, bought land in the mountains and built a life on his own terms. He doesn't reject leadership out of rebellion, he simply doesn't need it to define his worth. Psychologists describe Sigma males as introverted alphas. They possess leadership qualities but don't crave attention. They choose solitude not because they're antisocial, but because they thrive in independence. People often mistake Sigmas as cold or distant. The truth? They just don't perform for approval. They value sovereignty more than status. While the rest play chess for social dominance, the Sigma male is off writing his own rules. He detaches not to isolate, but to be free. His life isn't a rebellion, it's a quiet revolution. Point 8, they prioritize self-mastery. Self-awareness, discipline, emotional regulation, and mental clarity are not just buzzwords for the Sigma male, they are daily practices that define his existence. The Sigma male's ultimate goal is to master himself before attempting to lead or influence others. Unlike the typical social butterflies who thrive on external validation and networking, the Sigma invests his time in quiet self-reflection and growth. While others are busy trying to please, perform, or maintain their social status, the Sigma is often found in solitude, meditating, journaling, honing his craft, and strengthening both his mind and body. This time of detachment isn't about escaping the world, it's about evolving into the best version of himself. This quiet space where the Sigma disappears is where the real transformation occurs. It's not about avoiding the noise of life, but learning how to thrive in silence, cultivating the mental and emotional resilience needed to navigate the world on his own terms. For Sigma, this is where his clarity comes from, the ability to stay grounded and focused, to stay true to his purpose, and to rise above the distractions of everyday life. The quiet is his foundation for success. Point 9. They've been burned and learned. Many Sigma males have learned to detach because they've experienced the consequences of overextending themselves. They've been used, underestimated, and misunderstood, which can leave deep emotional scars. However, rather than becoming bitter or resentful, they chose to become better versions of themselves. They stopped chasing approval, stopped explaining their every move, and shifted their focus to observing the world around them. This detachment isn't about building emotional walls, it's about setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries protect their energy and help them preserve their peace of mind. Sigma males understand that not everyone deserves access to their time or attention, and they've learned to choose where to invest their emotional and mental resources wisely. The power of detachment lies in its ability to create space for self-reflection, growth, and clarity. By observing instead of reacting, Sigma males are able to assess situations with a calm, clear mind, avoiding unnecessary drama or conflict. Now, Sigma males guard their energy as if it's priceless because in many ways it is. They know that by maintaining control over their energy, they can continue to live authentically and pursue their goals without being weighed down by negativity or distractions. Point 10. They lead from the shadows. Not every leader needs a spotlight. Sigma males exemplify leadership in a unique, subtle way, one that doesn't rely on external validation. Unlike many who thrive on attention and applause, Sigma males lead from the shadows, influencing others without the need to be front and center. Their ability to inspire comes not from trending hashtags or media buzz, but from a quiet confidence and inner strength that radiates authenticity. Sigmas don't seek followers, they build movements. Their actions speak louder than any loud declarations or public displays. By focusing on what truly matters, personal growth, vision, and integrity, they create lasting change without the need for constant recognition. This detachment from fame is a core strength. It allows them to remain focused, immune to the distractions of flattery or public opinion. Instead of being swayed by praise, they're driven by purpose. In a world full of noise, the Sigma male's quiet power becomes a beacon of clarity. Their leadership shows that true influence doesn't need to shout. It simply needs to be steady, grounded, and true to oneself. This makes their impact all the more profound as they lead by example rather than by spectacle. So Sigmas, let's get one thing straight. Detachment isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It protects your peace, it sharpens your focus, it filters the fake, and it draws in what truly matters. You're not cold, you're calm, you're not aloof, you're aligned, you're not detached. You're disciplined. And if they don't get it, that's okay. Legends are rarely understood in their time. Sigmas, if you resonated with this message, you already know you're not like the rest. So don't apologize for the silence. Don't explain your solitude. Embrace the detachment that builds greatness. If you're walking the lone path, just know you're not walking alone. We are the movement. We are the mindset. We are the Sigmas. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join this tribe of warriors who live free, think deep, and move differently. Apply these Sigma qualities to your own life, and you won't just be watching a change, you'll become the change. Stay true and stay Sigma.